Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Sayoxy with Triangle Gaming. Today I'm going to be bringing you a League of Legends guide. Now this is going to be a jungle guide for a scarecrow that takes his job way too seriously, Fiddlesticks, the Harbinger of Doom. Now this will be a pretty basic guide, so we're going to take a quick look at his abilities, masteries, rune setup, and an item build that I like to use for him. And also at the end I will be throwing in some gameplay footage, that way you can get a quick look at how he plays. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, let's go ahead and take a look at his abilities. We'll go ahead and start with his passive, Dread. Nearby enemies have their magic resist reduced by 10. So yeah, this is pretty uninteresting, nothing special. A little bit of magic resist though, so it is what it is, I guess. Now his Q ability, Terrify, strikes a target unit with fear, causing it to flee in terror for a duration. So then there's his Q ability, Terrify, strikes a target unit with fear, causing it to flee in terror for a duration. So this is a pretty cool ability. Not only does it cause them to run away in fear, but it also does slow them down quite a bit, which will allow you to chase them down. Then there's his W ability, Drain. Fiddlesticks saps the life force of an enemy, dealing damage to a target over time and healing himself. Now this is pretty much where most of his damage will come from, and what's nice about it is, as it says, it also does heal himself as he's doing the damage. It also is one of his greatest weaknesses. If your enemy has a stun or a silence or anything that can break this channeling, then you really don't have much that you can do to that enemy until this ability comes off a cooldown again, and then by then you're probably going to be beat to crap already, so there's really not much you can probably do except for run. But this ability is great for in the jungle. It allows you for very good early sustain in the jungle. You really don't have any problems with keeping your health up, which also allows you to not have to take any potions. And then we have his E ability, Dark Wind. A wisp of wind strikes an enemy unit and then bounces to nearby enemy units, dealing damage and silencing the victims. So this does have pretty good range on it, and as it says, it also does work as a silence. And after that we have Fiddlesticks' ultimate, Crowstorm. A murder of crows flock wildly around Fiddlesticks, dealing damage each second to all enemy units in the area. Now this does do significant damage. Also what's nice about this ability is you can select where you want to go, and after you're done channeling it, you will flash to that position and then start using this ability. Now for your max order, to begin with, you're going to go ahead and put 1 point in your W ability, and then at level 2 you're going to put 1 point in your E ability. In level 3 you're going to go back to your W, and then level 4 you're going to go ahead and pick up Q. Now you will be maxing out your W ability first, and then your Q ability second, and E ability third. And also, as always, you will be maxing out your ultimate whenever possible. Now for his masteries, I do 21 in offense and 9 in utility. I'll go ahead and start off with his offensive tree. I put 1 point in double-edged sword for a little bit of extra damage, 3 points in sorcery for some cooldown reduction, 3 points in mental force for some ability power, 1 point in exposed weakness for a little bit of damage, 1 point in arcane mastery for 6 ability power. Then I put 3 points in executioner just to help you kill those low health champions faster. 1 point in dangerous game, which killing a champion restores 5% missing health and mana. This will help in team fights because with your Crowstorm, you're going to be jumping into the enemy. And then also with your drain, where you're going to be stationary during the time, you probably will take some damage. So this will just help restore a little bit of your health and mana, because hopefully you will be killing some champions when you use your ultimate. And then 3 points in Archmage for 5% ability power. 1 point in Arcane Blade to help your basic attacks do a little bit more damage. 3 points in Devastating Strikes for 6% armor and magic penetration. And 1 point in Havoc for plus 3% increased damage. And then for utility tree, I have 1 point in Phase Walker for 1 second reduce on your recall. 3 points in Fleet of Foot for some movement speed. And 1 point in Meditation for some mana regain. Now you can easily take the point from Phase Walker and put it in Meditation, or even if you want to into Scout for increased trinket range. Then I go ahead and put 3 points in Summoner Insight for some cooldown reduction, and 1 point in Runic Affinity to help those buffs last a little bit longer. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the rune setup. For Quintessences, I use plus 4.95 ability power. An alternative is to use the plus 1.5% movement speed if you want to just be able to move around a little bit quicker. For marks, I use plus 0.87 magic penetration. And then for seals, I just use the flat plus 1 armor. And then for glyphs, I use the scaling plus 1.7 ability power per level. If you prefer, you can use just the flat rate ability power, but these are better in the late game. Alright guys, so now let's go ahead and take a look at the item build that I use for him. Now for your standard starting items, I usually go ahead and start off with Doran's Ring. Gives you pretty much everything you need. A little bit of health, ability power, along with some mana regain. And then you'll go ahead and take 1 spell ward and Sweeping Lens. If you're looking for a little bit more movement speed and faster clear times, you can go ahead and take Boots of Speed, along with 2 stealth wards, and then you'll also take Sweeping Lens. Now on your first recall, if you don't already have boots, go ahead and pick those up. And then your main priority after that is to go ahead and pick up Spirit Stone. Helps you do a little bit more damage to those monsters and gives you a little bit of health and mana regain. Then if you still have some money left over, you can go ahead and build as far as you can into Fiendish Codex. And if you feel like it, you can go ahead and pick up another Stealth Ward. And then for your core items, you're going to go ahead and finish building Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. Gives you a little bit of ability power along with some cooldown reduction. Its passive Spirit Drain grants 2 ability power per large or epic monster kill with a max of 30. And its passive Butcher against monsters deal 30% bonus damage and restore 6% of damage dealt as health and 3% as mana. And its last passive, Conservation, stores 1 stack of gold per 1.5 seconds with a max of 80 stacks. Then a larger epic monster cashes in up to 40 stacks. And then your next item is going to be Zanya's Hourglass. Gives you a nice chunk of ability power along with some armor. And then it's active, which makes you invulnerable for 2.5 seconds. And then I usually get Sorcerer's Shoes for the magic penetration. And then as always, your boot selection is situational, depending on, well, your situation. After that, you have Rabadon's Death Cap. Gets you a really nice chunk of ability power, along with its passive, which even further increases ability power by 30%. And then if the enemy team is getting magic resist, you can go in and pick up Void Staff. Gives you plus 70 ability power. And then its passive, which makes magic damage ignore 35% of the target's magic resist. For your situational items, if you need a little bit more health, as well as some magic resist, you can go ahead and pick up Banshee's Veil. Gives you a nice chunk of health, and then 55 magic resist. And then its passive, which grants a spell shield that blocks the next enemy ability. The shield refreshes after no damage is taken from enemy champions for 25 seconds. And its other passive, which grants 45 health regain per 5 for up to 10 seconds after taking damage from an enemy champion, or when the spell shield breaks. And then the next item, if you're just looking for some more damage, go ahead and take Deathfire's Grasp. Gives you a nice chunk of ability power, as well as some cooldown reduction. And then it's active, which deals 15% of target champion's maximum health in magic damage, and increases all subsequent magic damage taken by the target by 20% for 4 seconds. So not only does it do a nice chunk of damage, but it also increases all magic damage done to that target by 20% for 4 seconds after you use it on that target. And then if you're looking for more of a utility item, you can go in and pick up Twin Shadows. Gives you some ability power, some cooldown reduction, and a little bit of movement speed. Then there's its active, which summons up to 2 invulnerable ghosts that seek out the 2 nearest enemy champions for 6 seconds. If a ghost reaches its target, it reveals the target and reduces their movement speed by 40% for 2.5 seconds. And then if the ghosts can't find any champions, they will return to you and reduce the cooldown of this active by 40 seconds. And then if you really need more vision control, you can go ahead and take Ruby Sightstone. Gives you plus 400 health, which is nice, but then it also holds 5 charges for stealth wards. So this is nice not to have to worry about buying stealth wards anymore, and every time that you do return to the base, they will recharge. Alright guys, so now I've gone ahead and thrown some gameplay footage together for y'all to watch, just so you can get a quick look at his abilities and his playstyle. Hope you enjoy. and do it for this guide. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and like, subscribe, and stay tuned to the channel for some more League of Legends guide. Also, go ahead and put some comments below for ways that we can improve this guide. And if not, thanks for watching, and have a good one.